Hey you guys, what's up? It is time for Just a Tip Tuesday, one of my favorite days of the week. And it's not only because I'm sharing all this awesome information that I know you guys are just eating up, but it's because of all the feedback that I'm receiving and how helpful it is to people in their lives. And I think with this one, it's a really good one. I'm excited for it. But a lot of you have reached out and said, you know what, that's exactly where I am right now. And this one hits really close to home for me. So I'm hoping not to get emotional. I'm hoping that it's gonna, we can stay on track and you can take from this exactly what you need. But I will let you know this one is pretty awesome because it's packed full of information. So what I will do is after this live, I'll post the link. So I'll put it in the comments below. Let me know if you're here, give me a wave or mention that you are in this live watching here with me. And so what you want to do with that link is go and read the full article because there's tons of extra freebies, goodies, resources, all in that article. And like I've said before, I know some of you like to hear things and like to listen to audios. That's how you learn, which is great. You're here in the right spot. You can even watch it because it's live video. But some of you like to read. Some of you like to, make some notes, write journals, take these tips and turn it into a plan for you. And so I know that a lot of you are doing that. And so I'm glad that I can provide both options and that you guys can really do with this what you need. So we won't waste any more time. I'm super pumped for this one. So in Just a Tip Tuesday, this is all about why your workouts aren't working and why you aren't getting toned. So it's kind of the same thing there that I'm going to wrap it all in together. But the number one, so we're going to go through 6 things. The number one thing, and this is, oh my gosh, I can't even preach to you guys enough how much I was falling victim into this, and it is too much cardio. So think cardio, really good for the heart health and really good for burning fat. But we're not prepped and primed to then build muscle and tone muscle when we are doing so much cardio. And so for me, I was a little bit scared of the weight section. I was a little bit timid because I didn't understand how to use the equipment. When I first started working out, when I was really trying to lose all this weight, one of the things, like I look back on it now and I just laugh because half the machines in the gym I was using backwards, and I was like hopping, if it was meant to be like something that you pulled here, I was hopping on it with my back towards it and I was trying to pull it from this way, and I was doing it all wrong. And it's because I didn't know. I was a little bit scared and I just was like, you know what, the weights are not for me. I'll just stick to the treadmill and I'll just stick to the bike. And I would see all these girls, come out of the weight section and they had this beautiful, like lean, toned looking muscle that I was excited to try and get. And I always wondered like what was over there and what was different about that. And so here I was stuck on the treadmill, stuck on the bike or the elliptical, paying, $60 a month for a gym membership to use that one piece of equipment. And if that is you, please, let's change that right now. Make some sort of plan around some strength training because that's what's actually going to build and develop that muscle. We'll get into that a little bit later, but too much cardio can essentially put ourselves into a state where we're overworking our muscles and there's no chance for them to rest, recover, and actually gain because we're just constantly in that cardio state. And so try and find a balance in that. If you are doing cardio and you really like going for runs and you really like going on the bike, like I have at it, I'm really proud of you. But let's try and mix up that routine, and to get that toned muscle, let's get some variety in there into whatever workout routine that you have going on. Cool? Okay, number 2. So the second thing for Just a Tip Tuesday is not enough protein. Protein, think of this as like the building blocks. And so when we work out, we're essentially tearing the muscles apart. And so we need for that to repair and grow, we need protein as that building block. And so when we lack protein in our diet, it can have an effect on a number of different things like your hair, your skin, your nails. But if you're, working out even more so because you're trying to get these results, you're trying to get that lean toned look most of the time. And if you're not eating enough protein, then essentially your body will feed off that muscle and it can actually do the opposite. So don't be scared of protein, especially if you are a woman watching this. I know there's a lot out there on like women that lift weights and drink protein shakes are just gonna get like huge and they're looking like the muscle men that you see all over the stage. And It's not going to happen overnight like that. Those people have been training for years. They're often usually taking some sort of supplements to look that way. And so don't be scared of it. You'll actually be really, really, really impressed what your body can do when it has a little bit of muscle mass on it, and things like your metabolism can speed up. And so let's carry a little bit extra of that muscle. Let's burn that fat, but make sure you're feeding your muscles. So protein is really important. You'll find that there is on my website a ton of snacks really focused on the high protein side of things. Even if you check out the article that I'll put in the comments below, what you'll find is an ebook. So it is all protein recipes, because I know that there are a lot of women that struggle with that. And there's some explanations around why protein is so important, how to calculate how much protein is enough. So I really recommend going and grabbing that. Awesome. So number 3, you'll see in the little, I've got a lot of feedback. I post these little infographics. So again, people can like save them, and what you guys are telling me is that it's really easy to understand when it's these little images. And so you'll see the poor attitude one. It's pretty funny. So go check that out. But essentially, what your attitude can do, it's so directly tied to your results. So if you're sitting there thinking like, oh, because I was guilty of this, oh, it's not gonna happen to me, like I'll never get that developed muscle because there's just something wrong with me. Or if you've got this just like stinking attitude on, be like, I'm working so hard and everything that I do isn't happening how I want it to happen, and you know, all these things, like let's try and switch that mindset around. Let's try and switch that attitude into a positive one, and I promise you things will happen. Your whole entire outlook on everything that you're doing as far as health and wellness will change. But if you have a poor attitude, it's like anything. When you're going to work in the beginning of the day, if you're like upset about it, dragging your feet, like you don't set yourself up to have a good day at the office. But if you are in a great mood, something maybe awesome happened the night before, think about how different that day is for you overall. And then let's try and think about how much of an impact that attitude has on what we're doing inside the gym and with our workouts, with our nutrition. But more specifically with the whole like not getting toned thing, because I want to stay on target here and stay on track for you guys. There's actually been studies done that when people have a poor attitude, it can directly link to results that you have. And so make sure to go check out the article in the comments below, because it has some information about that study. But it's something that we need to not ignore. And if we're thinking constantly over in our head that this isn't working, this isn't working, this isn't working, I don't care if you're not woo-woo at all. There is something about what we think about attracts and happens. And it's time to just start switching that mindset around. So I very highly encourage you to do that as best as you can. And hey, you know what? You're human. You're going to have days where you just want to throw in the towel and you say, you know what? Like, I'm done with this whole fitness thing. I have days like that. It's totally okay. But for the majority of it, let's have some, momentum going. Let's have some people around us and supporting us and cheering us on for those days that we're not feeling our best. And let's try and spin that, day by day, spin that mindset just a little bit to more positive and how you're getting after these results. And so I really recommend just switching your mindset a little bit and watching how much of a difference it will make with everything you do. Okay, so one of my favorite ones, not enough strength training. So I kind of touched on this at the beginning. Heavy on the cardio, light on the strength training. If this sounds like you, it's time to flip that switch. I was trying to lose a ton of weight, and for me, I was just a cardio bunny. I was like running on the treadmill for an hour plus a day. I was eating a really restricted diet, like 1,200, 1,300 calories. And I was wondering, like, what is wrong with me? Why am I not losing any weight? Some weeks I was putting on weight, and I'm thinking, how is this even possible? It wasn't until I got myself a really awesome coach, which is part of the reason why I am so fortunate to be able to do what I do these days. But it wasn't until I unlocked like a lot of these like secrets that I think need to be talked about more. And I was starting to rip apart these stereotypes, and I was eating a crap ton of food, and I was lifting heavy weights. And so as soon as I started to really strength train, I saw these incredible benefits. And so not only was I burning fat from the strength training, I was actually developing that muscle so that when my body fat was dropping, the muscle was actually defined to start showing through. And that's the sweet spot we want to get to. So don't think, like I was talking about the protein shakes and eating protein, don't think you're going to get huge and giant and bulky. Think about leaning down, and that's why people refer to this lean muscle. leaning down, developing that muscle underneath, and that's where you get that toned, defined look coming in. So it's not about, you know, bulking and eating all this food and like putting on massive muscle mass. That takes a really big commitment, and you have to have like quite intensive training to do that. So if you're just 3-4 times a week in the gym, upping your protein, strength training, like that combination, I know that you guys can do that and you'll start to see some awesome results. So push yourself, don't hurt yourself. So if you're unsure about form and technique, ask somebody in the gym to help you. But don't be afraid to give it a go. There's lots of resources on this page. Reach out to me or this community and we got you. We'll help you. But let's start strength training, especially you women out there. Let's not be afraid of it. It has so many benefits, not only burning the fat, putting yourself into an afterburn stage, you know, stronger bones, joints, all these things that we can develop, and it just feels so good to have some strength in all of these day-to-day activities that we do. So highly recommend the strength training. Okay, so we're nearly there, you guys. We have 2 more. This one is what a lot of you reached out to me about today after I posted this over on Instagram, and it's about being impatient. And so Rome wasn't built in a day, results don't happen overnight, and it can be so frustrating, I know, to feel like you're working at it, and your efforts are not being achieved, or you feel like everything's just a little bit slow and you're sitting there wondering what's wrong with me. And I say that because I used to do that every single week. I'd, you know, look at everything that I'd done from that week as far as nutrition goes, as far as my workouts, and I'm thinking like this, I shouldn't be just losing 1 pound a week, or I shouldn't be, you know, everything should be fitting a little bit differently, and it just wasn't. But I promise you, if you are patient with things and if you keep working at it and you have some really specific goals in mind, you will get to where you want to go. And that's one of the biggest things that we focus on inside of the programs that I offer, is instead of setting these like fluffy goals that, you know, after 2 weeks we forget about, it's let's really get down to the nitty gritty of it. Let's really get down to the why behind everything. And then let's set some really tangible goals so that we know where we're going. We know what we want to achieve. And then, hell yeah, do we ever celebrate when we actually not only meet but exceed those goals. And then it's just about leveling up, consistently leveling up and going from there. And so be patient. It shouldn't have to take years and years though. For me, my whole weight loss thing was like 5-6 years, and it just shouldn't take that long. But I was your typical like yo-yo dieter. I tried everything. I was into cardio, like I was saying. And so with the right plan and the right support system around you, you can do it. And it's just about being patient with those results and knowing that your consistent effort is going to pay off. And God, does it feel good when you can like reward yourself with new pants. All my ladies in my program know what I'm talking about here. So I'll leave that one alone. Okay guys, we're at the last one. So the number 6 for Just the Tip Tuesday is sleep. So when we're sleep deprived, so many things happen. I would say one of the most common thing that I see with people that I'm talking to, friends, family, people in my programs, when we're sleep deprived, we can't make great choices. And so how does this affect your workouts not working and not getting toned? Well, it's just a snowball effect. So I'll give you a real life scenario. Somebody wakes up, okay, they're tired, they went to bed at maybe 1 a.m., they got up at 7, you know, they didn't get that crucial sleep before 12 o'clock to hit those awesome REM cycles, and now it's like, okay, extra large coffee, here we go. Well, then the coffee starts to wear off, and unfortunately, your brain wants something good. It's craving something good. Often that is some sort of like sugary treat or empty carbohydrate food, and so you put it in your body. Then all of a sudden you're going through a crash. You're not feeling great, and so this starts to make you, you know, maybe you had some plans to go work out later in the afternoon. Well, now you're feeling exhausted and tired, and you're a little bit mad at yourself because, you know, you had all these sugary things and you're just feeling totally crappy. And it takes over. And so you're sabotaging yourself with something that is actually linked to your sleep. But a lot of the time we miss that, and we think again that there's something wrong with us, and that we're, you know, we can't stick to a plan, and why couldn't I just commit and go at the end of the day? And it's like, let's have a look at this. We're like, our bodies are so smart, and when we try and trick them, and when we try and go against what they're telling us, it can be just like a uphill battle. And so when we get that sleep, when we get that crucial unwinding time and we can fall asleep quickly and stay asleep for the whole night, oh my goodness, will it ever make a difference to your fitness game, your health and wellness game. And so there are things that I recommend inside my programs for specific people. If this is something that we want to focus on, again, going back to that goals. But what I really recommend is like, get some sleep. We are not robots, we are humans, and as invincible as a lot of you like to admit, myself included, I'm like, I don't need sleep. I can tell you, like, sleep is my non-negotiable now. I'm such a grandma, and I'm so happy to admit it, because I get up at 5 a.m. I have my morning routine, and I'm absolutely crushing stuff before half the world is even awake, and I'm totally in love with that. And when I get to bed really late or I don't have a good sleep, my entire day is off. So I can't stress to you how much sleep is important, not only to the things that you're doing as far as like tasks during the day, maybe at work, showing up for your family, but as far as your fitness goes, you're gonna make a lot better choices if you've had that sleep and you're coming from that just like zone of genius in everything that you do. You'll find it's a snowballing effect in the positive way when you've had enough sleep and you feel rested. Okay, so that was Just the Tip Tuesday, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you know somebody who you think would benefit from watching this, invite them into this group. This is a private place. It's a safe space. And if we can grow this, we can continue to educate each other, continue to challenge each other. And at the end of the day, we're all just going to get better. And so I love you guys so much for watching. I hope it was beneficial for you. And I can't wait for the next Just the Tip Tuesday. Same time, same place. Always check out the article on my website. It's loaded with goodies. So don't forget to do that. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye for now.